All right, guys. So, our do now today says to solve the following multi-step or two-step equations for the variable n. So let's go ahead and start with number 1. In number 1, I have 5 plus n divided by 2 minus 7 equals 4. I have two options for what I could do first. Which option would we like to choose? What do you guys think? Yeah, well, we have addition here and we have subtraction. I heard somebody say addition, so let's get rid of that plus 5. What should we do to get rid of it? Yes, we're going to do minus 5 to help it cancel. Where else do I need to write minus 5? Yes, under the 4, because it is on the other side of the equal sign. I don't need to write minus 5 twice on one side. Got to keep my equation equal. All right, what happens with my 5s? They cancel. Then I want to go ahead and bring everything down. So I still have n divided by 2 minus 7 equals, what is 4 minus 5? Negative 1. Perfect. All right, what's our next step now? Yeah, we have a minus 7 here, and to get rid of it, we'll do plus 7. So I will do plus 7 here. Where else should I write plus 7? Under that 1, or that negative 1. My 7's cancel. Now what? Yeah, there's a couple things we could do. We could go ahead and bring this down, our n divided by 2 and our equals. Now we have negative 1 plus 7, or we could think of this as 7 minus 1. What's our answer going to be under here? 6. Good. Okay, now we're left with a one-step equation. We have n divided by 2 equals 6. What do I need to do as my final step to get n by itself? Yes, when we have division, to get rid of it, we multiply. So we're going to do that to both sides. My 2's cancel. Bring down my n equals, and 6 times 2 is 12. Great job, guys. Any questions about number 1? Anything anyone did differently, maybe?
Yep, I did.
What'd you do different?
I got it all wrong.
That's all right.
I started off with the 7. I did the 7.
So you did plus 7 first?
Yeah.
Here, let's write it out the way that you did it, because I bet you somebody either here with us or somebody at home that's watching this video might have done it the same way as you. So let me rewrite the problem. I have 5 plus n divided by 2 minus 7 equals 4. All right, so Jenny, you said you started with the plus 7?
Yeah.
Okay, let me move these papers. So first we add 7.
And I did the plus 7 on the 4.
Okay, also on the 4. Then what'd you do?
Canceled out my 7.
All right, we canceled those out.
7 plus 4.
And then 7 plus 4, what was that?
11.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, 11.
Bring down my equal sign.
Bring
down my n divided by 2.
N divided by 2.
My plus and my 5.
Perfect. Okay, so far we're doing it correctly.
Okay, then I did negative 5.
All right. Under here? So minus 5 here. Where else?
5 on the 11.
On the 11. All right.
Then cancel out my 5. 11 5 6.
6 equals.
And then bring my n2 down.
All right. N divided by 2. So far you're doing it right. What'd you do lastly?
It's not wrong. I did 2 times 2.
Uh-huh.
I put the 2 underneath there, which made it a 2. That canceled that out. And then
Okay.
2 times 6. And I must have didn't look at it right. Because I got it all the way but okay.
What'd you get as your answer?
6, I don't even know where that came from. I wasn't looking, I was sitting there messing around with the dang on dog, so that's where I screwed up at. But I did it all, I just till I got to there.
Okay.
Where I got that from, I have no idea.
What is the part that you got that I don't have written down?
I didn't do the 2 times 6.
Oh, okay,
That's what I did
okay.
not do.
Yeah.
That's where I did.
Anytime we do something to one side,
Oh, yeah.
gotta do it to the other.
Yeah.
That's all right. So let's go ahead and answer this. N equals 6 times 2. What is 6 times 2? 12. So this is just going to show that you could do either one first.
I forgot to bring that 2 times 2 over. That's where I started.
Yeah. That's all right. That's all right.
But I see what I made my mistake.
Okay, good. As long as you see it and as long as everybody can tell it, you can start with either -5 or +7. You'll get the same answer. All right, guys, let's take a look at number 2 now. We have n divided by 5 plus 2 equals 12. What should I do here? Minus 2, absolutely. And where else do I need to take away 2? On the 12, the other side of the equal sign. I almost wrote minus 12. All right, my 2's cancel. I still have n divided by 5 on this side. Bring down my equal. 12 minus 2 is 10. All right, did everybody get that far?
Yeah.
Good. Now what do we do? Multiplication. We have n divided by 5. To get rid of division, we multiply. Then we got to do that to both sides. Now what happens here? Yes, the 5's cancel out. We'll bring down our n equals, and what is 10 times 5? 50. All right. Did anyone do this differently? Good. Good. Okay. Any questions on number 2? All right, let's check out number 3 now. I'm going to move this. Oh, you're okay. All right, number 3. We have -3 plus 2 times n minus 2 equals 15. What should we do first? Yeah, we could do +3 or we could do +2. Let's go ahead and do +3. Where else do I need to add 3? On the 15. Good. On the other side of this equal sign. If it helps to draw the line, you can absolutely do that. So my 3's cancel. And then over on this side, I'm going to bring my 2n minus 2 down. Minus 2 equals, what's 15 plus 3? 18. Perfect. All right, now we have a whole new equation. 2 times n minus 2. What do we do now? Plus 2 on both sides. All right, my 2's cancel. I still have 2n on this side of my equation. I keep wanting to write a 1 instead of a 2 today. I don't know what my deal is. 2n equals, what is 18 plus 2? 20. Okay, now we have a one-step equation left to solve. 2 times n equals 20. Yeah, we need to divide by 2 to get n by itself. And if I do that on this side, what else do I need to do? I gotta do it under the 20 as well. So we're left with n all by itself. So that means we can bring it down. N equals, what's 20 divided by 2? 10. Good. Did you guys get that one? What'd you do?
Even though I did it the other way, but I still came out.
Good, good. So Kiana, tell me about what steps you were taking.
I started with the 2 because I wasn't sure about the -3 plus.
Uh-huh.
So I did +2.
Well, here, let's try this. Let's do it your way, too. All right, let me rewrite this problem. I think it helps sometimes to see it both ways. So let's do our original problem. It was -3 plus 2 times n minus 2 equals 15. And you said you weren't sure about that -3 plus 2n. So instead of starting with that, you decided to do this plus 2 first?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll do plus 2 And where else did you write plus 2?
Under 15.
Under 15. Good. All right. What'd you do next?
Cancel the 2's out.
Cancel the 2's out.
And 15 plus 2 is 17.
Perfect. 15 plus 2 is 17.
Put down.
Mm-hmm.
Brought my 2 in down. And then put my plus and my -3.
Perfect. So you've gotten this far. What'd you do from here?
And then that's probably where I messed up at. I ended up putting a -3 because I put -3 because, like I said, I wasn't for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this and why we can do +3 even though it's an addition problem. So what we're really seeing here is 2n plus -3. So if we wanted to get rid of adding -3, we could subtract -3. And something that we know, guys, remember when we were doing distribution and polynomials, and whenever we would have a negative besides a negative, they're going to end up canceling out. And the simpler version is to just write +3 under there. So if I have 2n plus -3, it's the exact same thing as 2n minus 3. So you can see here, I can get rid of it by just writing +3. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good, good. So if we did your method of starting with that +2, then we get down here, do +3, then we are still left with 2n equals 20. And that's the exact same thing we did here. We would just divide by 2 on both sides, and we would still get the same answer, n equals
So
10.
when you see a negative, do the opposite.
Exactly, exactly. So I like to think of it as we're trying to get rid of the number itself, not necessarily the addition or the subtraction. We want to think about the fact that there is a -3, and this is kind of like an and sign. -3 and 2 times n. And I'm just trying to get rid of that -3. Once I get rid of it, 2 times n and nothing, we don't need the and sign anymore. So it does get rid of it once we get rid of that negative. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on and check out number 4. Okay. Number 4, we have 5 times n equals -25. What should we do here? Division, absolutely. So what are we dividing exactly?
5 on each side.
I want to get n by itself, so we need to divide by 5 on both sides. My 5's cancel. I'll bring down my n equals, and what is -25 divided by +5?
-5.
Ooh, is it positive or negative, guys? I heard both answers.
Negative.
It is negative. Negative numbers divided by positive numbers stay negative. The only way to change this -25 to a +5 would be if we divided by another negative. We would have to have 2 negatives to cancel and create that positive. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, wonderful. All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and move on to the next thing today. Yes.
Can you just go over that one again, 'cause I got that one wrong.
Number 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand the 5 in, that, the 25 I got wrong.
-25 divided by 5?
Yeah.
What did you get?
You did that.
Tell me, what number did you get? 2. Okay. Did you type it in your calculator? If you didn't, I wonder, Jenny, I wonder if you did this. I wonder if you looked at this and saw 2, 5, 5. My 5's cancel. I've got -2. Do you think you did that maybe?
No, hold on.
Hmm.
Hold on.
don't know. We'll
I don't
hear.
know what I did, but I don't know how I got that too.
I don't know.
You're right.
Well.
I don't know, but anyway, I see what it is.
Okay.
I got 5 divided by -1, right?
Right.
Evidently I didn't hit my fingers right on this.
Must have been a calculator mistake.
No, it was a genuine mistake.
That's
I
okay.
didn't do it right, but I see what, I got that far.
Uh-huh.
I got the wrong answer. Yeah.
Well, a good thing to always do is if we get an answer and we want to make sure it's correct, we can always plug this in back to our original equation. So if I wanted to see, is n really -5? I could take 5 times n up here, and it would be 5 times, and I said n was -5, and if that's correct, my answer should be -25, which it is, so we know we did it correctly. All right, so we have been solving equations for the last couple of days now. We've been doing multi-step equations. We've been doing our one-step and two-step equations. And every time that we solve them, we always do them in a specific order. First of all, we do addition and subtraction. So here, let me write these steps out. When solving for a variable, these are the steps that we've been taking. Let me zoom in a little. Okay. Our first step is usually to look and see what operations we have going on. If there's any addition or subtraction, we use inverse operations to get rid of that first. And after we got rid of all the addition and subtraction, we would move on and see if there was any multiplication or division. And we would use inverse operations to get rid of that. So as a reminder, I'm going to write up here also our inverse operations. So if we have addition or a positive number, the opposite of that, or the inverse, would be subtraction or a negative number. And then if we had multiplication, the opposite of that, or the inverse of that, would be division. So up to this point, every equation that we have solved has followed these rules. We start with addition and subtraction, then we do our multiplication and division, and we're always using inverse operations. Now, we will continually use our inverse operations, but I want to show you some special cases where we do things a little bit differently when solving an equation. So, I'm going to leave this up at the top here, and I'm going to introduce one of the exceptions to these rules. Oh my goodness, I just ripped my paper. Okay, so one of the first exceptions that we're going to see is whenever there is distribution in an equation. And I'm going to show you an example of that. And y'all, while you're writing, I got to take this paper. It's going to drive me nuts. Okay, good enough. Okay, so an example would be something like 2 times the quantity 3 times n plus 4 equals 20. Okay. I'm going to let you guys get caught up, and then we will start talking about this. All right. So, can I cover up this top part?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to scooch this up, and I'm going to show you how we would do this first. So, anytime that we have an equation like this, where there's parentheses, we've got a distribution problem. We remember that when we see a number directly to the left of a set of parentheses, and we've got terms inside those parentheses, that means that we are multiplying. What I'm really going to be doing here to solve this is I'm going to be multiplying 2 times 3n, and I'm going to be multiplying 2 times 4. We need to do this first because whenever we have a set of terms inside of parentheses, we can't move these around until the parentheses is gone. So to get rid of parentheses, we distribute. So let's go ahead and work out the first part. If I wanted to do 2 times 3n and then 2 times 4, and I'm just writing this out so that you can see what operation we're doing here. We're using multiplication. First, what is 2 times 3n? 6n. Remember, anytime that we multiply by a number that is attached to a variable, all you need to do is multiply the two numbers like normal. So I'm really just doing 2 times 3, and just keep in mind that that n stays attached. So you're exactly right. We would get 6n. Next, we would do the second term, which is 2 times 4, and what's that going to give us? 8. So I have 6n plus 8, and then I just bring down whatever's left, equals 20. Now we have a whole new equation that looks a little easier to work with. So once we've done that distribution, we can solve like normal. What do we do here now that we don't have any parentheses? Yes, now we can go back to those normal rules of addition and subtraction, then multiplication and division. So we have plus 8. To get rid of it, we'll do minus 8 on both sides. My 8s are going to cancel, and I'm left with 6 times n on this side equals, what is 20 minus 8? It should be 12. Good. All right, now we have one final step here. I have 6 times n equals 12. What should I do to get rid of 6 and to get n by itself? Yes, I want to divide by 6. I've got a multiplication problem here. So to get rid of it, we're going to divide. On both sides. Yes, ma'am. My 6's cancel. I've got n equals 12 divided by 6, which is 2. N equals 2. All right, guys. Looks a little scary, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad. We're just doing one extra step here. Just one little baby extra step. Let's do another example, and I'll do it just right beside it. How about we try 5 multiplied by the quantity in parentheses. I've got 2 times n minus 3 is equal to 25. Okay. What would I need to do very first here?
5 times 2n, 5 times 3.
Yes, I need to distribute. Absolutely. Here, I'm going to move this tape. I didn't think about this. Maybe I have a... I know Sharpie's going to write on it. There we go. Okay, so now we have our arrows to show that we are distributing. So I'm going to start with 5 times 2n. What is that going to be? 10n. So because I know you guys know how to distribute, I'm not going to write out this second step. This in the first step was just to remind everyone that this is really what we're doing in the process. We're doing 2 times 3n to get 6n. But if you guys are okay with it, I'm just going to tell you we're doing 5 times 2n, and you told me that was 10n. I don't want to make too many steps for you and get you guys lost in the process. Okay, now we have 5 times what? 5 times 3. What's that going to be? 15. Am I going to put minus 15 or plus 15? Ooh. So in this problem, we had plus 4. So we were able to do 2 times 4, and we got 8, and it stayed a plus. Over here, we have 5 times 3, but it's subtracted. So there's 2 ways we could go about this. We could think of it as 5 times 3 is 15 and bring down the negative sign or the minus sign. Or we could think of this as 5 times negative 3. And just remember that because we get negative 15, it'll be minus 15. Okay, so if we have a negative or a minus within distribution, we need to remember our multiplication rules. Positive 5 times negative 3 is going to give us 15, negative 15. Or if we did our positives, positive 5 times positive 3, we get 15, but it's a subtraction problem, and that subtraction carries down. All right? Any questions about that part? Okay, and we'll do more practice just to make sure we all feel all right about it. So we've done the distribution. All we need to do now is bring down the rest of our equation. Equals 25. All right, what do we do here now?
Plus 15.
Ooh, we don't want to forget our rules. We always do addition and subtraction first when we're solving. Then we do our multiplication and division. So we have 10 times n minus 15. So Kiana, you are correct. We are going to add 15 first. We have to get all of the addition and subtraction gone before we can separate 10 from n. So let's do that first. Plus 15. Where else am I adding 15? Under the 25. Good. All right. My 15s cancel. Now I've got 10 times n left is equal to 25 plus 15. What is that? 40. Good. Now we can do what you were saying, Jenny. Now we can divide by 10 on both sides. My 10s will cancel. N equals, what is 40 divided by 10? 4. Good job, guys. Very good job. Okay. Any questions about that one? We're going to do a couple more together since this is new. I'm going to scooch this up a little. Let's try 4 distributed into or multiplied by the quantity 2n minus 5 equals 12. What's my first step?
Distribute the
Yeah, we want to start by distributing this 4 because we need to get rid of that parentheses. So I'm going to be doing 4 times 2n, and then I'm going to be doing 4 times either 5, and I know that it'll be a subtraction problem, or I could do 4 times -5. Would it be helpful if I wrote out the 2 different processes to help understand? Okay, so let me show you the 2 different sort of methods that we're doing here. We could either do 4 times 2n minus 4 times 5, or, and I'll show the other way in a different color, we could also do this by doing 4 times 2n plus 4 times -5. Do you guys see the 2 different ways that we looked at that? So we could either keep the minus sign and just worry about the numbers, or we could know that whenever we get these 2 terms and the 2 products here, those 2 multiplication problems, we're going to add them together. And when you add a negative, it becomes subtraction. Me personally, I think this first way might be a little less confusing. Just remember that that minus sign is still there, and I'm doing 4 times 5. So for the first way, this is how we're kind of grouping our bits. You see that 4 times 2n minus 4 times 5. In the second way, I'm doing 4 times 2n plus, I hope this isn't too confusing, 4 times -5. This second way might get you in trouble if you miss a sign, or, putting a plus where you don't see one. I would probably recommend, for simplicity, just do the first option, okay? So let's rewrite this problem because it's getting messy. We have 4 times 2n minus 5 equals 12. And do we want to do the first way or the second way? First way, okay. So we have 4 times 2n minus 4 times 5. All right. Now we need to do this multiplication here. What is 4 times 2n? 8n. Now I have my minus sign. I'll just bring down. What's 4 times 5? 20. And then what do I do? Yes, bring down my equals 12. Perfect. So we have distributed. We've gotten rid of that parentheses. Now I can solve it like a normal equation. What do I do here? Yes, plus 20 on each side. I drew that line too soon. That's all right. Okay. My 20s cancel. I'm going to bring down 8n equals, what is 12 plus 20? 32. All right, we're at the final step here. I've got 8 times n equals 32. Yeah, now we want to divide by 8 to get rid of the multiplication. All right, n is by itself, so we have n equals, what is 32 divided by 8?
4.
It is 4. Good job, guys. Okay, very good. Very, very good. So, whenever we see parentheses and a number outside of it, we remember that we got to distribute first. Okay? Now, I want to show you, I don't want to confuse you guys, but I did just think of a different way that we could do this, and I think you might find it easier. You might. So, would you like to see the different way? If you're good with this and you don't want to get confused, you can ignore me. But I think you might like this better. Huh? You can ignore me because I already showed you the one way, and this will work every time. The next way I'm going to show you will also work every time, but it's a little different. So let's do the same problems we just did, but instead of distributing, we're going to use inverse operations. So I have 2 times the quantity 3n plus 4 equals 20. Okay. When we distribute, remind me, what operation are we using? We're using parentheses, but whenever I take my 2 and I combine it with 3n, multiplication. Very good. So guys, in an equation, how do we get rid of multiplication? You do the opposite. What's the opposite of multiplying? Division. So if you see here, I have 2 times this whole side. What if I just divided it by 2? My 2's would cancel. And then I would have 3n plus 4 equals, what is 20 divided by 2? 10. Guys, I think this might be an easier way. Instead of having to do 3 different multiplication problems and then doing all that, and let's just solve this and see how much easier. What do I do now? Yep, minus 4 on both sides. My 4's cancel. I get 3 times n equals 6. And now what? Yeah, divide by 3, guys. Divide by 3. And we're going to get n equals 2. And what do you know? That's the same thing we got the first time. Okay? The only thing we did different is we multiplied here. We did 2 times 3n and 2 times 4 to get 6n plus 8 equals 20. Now, instead of doing all that, over here, we just got rid of the distribution by using our inverse operations. We know that 2 outside of a parentheses means 2 times something. To get rid of multiplication, we divide. We just got rid of the 2 on both sides, and then we got the same answer. Let's try the second one like that. My second problem was 5 times the quantity 2n minus 3 equals 25. Okay, so instead of distributing and having to multiply 5 times 2n, 5 times 3, make sure it's negative. Remember all the steps. What could I do to just get rid of that 5? Divide by 5. Because what's happening here is I'm taking 5 times all of this. To get rid of multiplication, I divide. Got to do it on both sides. My 5's would cancel. And then I'm left on this side with 2n minus 3 equals, what is 25 divided by 5? 5. Okay, now I have 2 times n minus 3 equals 5. What would I do next? Yep. Before we can separate the variable from the number, we've got to get rid of all the pluses and the minuses, the addition and subtraction. So I've got minus 3. How do I get rid of that? Plus 3. Good. We'll do that to both sides. My 3's cancel. On this side, I'm left with 2 times n equals, and 5 plus 3 is 8. All right, one final step. I've got 2 times n equals 8. How do I get n by itself? Divide by 2 on both sides. My 2's will cancel. And then n equals, what is 8 divided by 2? 4. Let's see if we got the same answer. We sure did, guys. Which way do you guys feel like you like better?
I like both ways.
You like both ways? So what's great is both ways will work. Both ways absolutely work. If you would prefer to multiply each of the terms and keep track of those pluses or minuses, that's perfectly fine. This is going to give you the correct answer. If you would rather not deal with distribution and you just want to get rid of the multiplication altogether, you can divide first. So either one is fine. You'll get the same answer. How about we do one more like this together? We'll do this third problem, and then I want you guys to try a few by yourself. Okay, I'm making a mess on this screen. So many numbers, I'm sorry guys. Okay, so my third problem was 4 times the quantity 2n minus 5 equals 12. The first time I solved this, I distributed, and I did 4 times 2n, then I did 4 times 5, and I got 8n minus 20 equals 12. But let's try it a different way. Instead of distributing, we remember that if I see a number outside of parentheses, it means we're multiplying. And in order to get rid of multiplication, what do? We divide. So I'm going to divide this whole thing by 4 to get rid of 4. And whatever I do on one side, I have to do to the other. So my 4's will cancel. What's my next step?
4 going to 12.
What is 12 divided by 4? 3. Perfect. And then what else do I need to put down here?
Bring down to 9 minus 5.
Yes, I'm just going to bring this down. My 2 times n minus 5 equals 3. So with this one step here, we got rid of that parentheses. Now we can use our regular rules of getting rid of addition and subtraction, then getting rid of multiplication and division. Okay, so now that we know we're going to follow our normal steps, what do we do here? Plus 5 on both sides. Good. 5's cancel. I'm left with 2 times n on this side. 3 plus 5 is 8. And what's our last step? Good. I want to divide by 2 on both sides. My 2's will cancel. And I'm left with n equals 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Good job, guys. Very good job. So you can do either way. You can do either way. All right. I am going to write out 3 little practice problems for you. And I want you to try these on your own. Oh, you're okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to give you something a little bit of a curveball here. All right, I'm going to give you these 4 problems to try. So I mixed in some things just because I want to make sure that just because we're learning something new doesn't mean we forget everything we've been doing. I'm going to have you do number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Now, we haven't gone over how to solve number 4, but I want to see if you can figure it out, because I think you can. I really think you can. I'm not going to tell you how to solve number 4. I'm just going to see if you can do it. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this recording. So if you are watching at home, practice these, and when I unpause it, we will give the answers. All right, number 1, we have n divided by 2 plus 3 equals 4. What's our first step? Minus 3 to both sides. Good. Yep, my 3's are going to cancel. Yep, 4 minus 3 is 1. Bring everything down. Now I have just n divided by 2 equals 1. What do I do here? Yes, times 2. And my 2's cancel. I get n equals 1 times 2. What's that? 2. So we're not adding here. We're multiplying. That's okay. Just a silly number mistake. I see a 1 and an x and a 2. You think it's 1 plus. I get it. So we'll just remember we're doing 1 times 2. And that's going to give us 2. N equals 2. All right, guys. Let's look at the second one. I have 3 times n equals negative 9. What should I do here? So I have, say that again, Lisa. Bring the 9 down. What am I doing with the 9? I'm going to add 9. So let's think about this. We are trying to get n by itself. If I move the 9 over, is that going to help me get n by itself? I don't think it will. I don't think it will right now. What I have here is a 3 times n. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to separate 3 from n. If I want to get rid of this multiplication problem, I'm going to have to do what? Divide. So we don't want to mess with that negative 9 just yet. We want to get n by itself. So to get rid of 3 times n, we'll do 3 divided by here. The 3's will cancel. And we got to do that to both sides. Now we have n by itself is equal to, what is negative 9 divided by 3? Negative 3. Good. Do you see what we did there, Lisa?
Yep.
Okay, good. Good, good, good. All right, let's check out number 3. What did y'all do here?
I got rid of those 3.
You got rid of the 3's? Okay, did anybody else do something? Who distributed?
I did.
Okay, so Jenny, you distributed. We'll do both ways. First, let's try the dividing by 3. Is that what you did? Okay, so we took this side divided by 3 and this side divided by 3. My 3's cancel. And I'm left with 2n plus 5 equals, what's 33 divided by 3? 11. Okay, now what do you do?
Subtract 5.
Yep, subtract 5. So I'm left with 2 times n equals, what is that, 6? All right, then what?
Divide 2 into both sides.
Divided by 2, and then we're going to get n equals 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Jenny, did you get the same answer?
Yes, I did.
You did. Well, that is wonderful news. Let's see what it would look like if we distributed instead. Let me put this over here. All right, 3 times 2n plus 5 equals 33. All right, so the first method was just dividing by 3 and not even worrying about the distribution. The second method would be to distribute. So what is 3 times 2n? 6n plus, what is 3 times 5? 15. So I would have that. I'd bring down my equals 33. Now what? Yep, minus 15 on both sides. Now I've got 6 times n equals, what's 33 minus 15? 18? All right, 18. And then what do we need to do? Yeah, that's perfect. We're going to divide by 6 here. My 6's will cancel, and I'd be left with n equals 18 divided by 6, which is 3. Both ways will get you the right answer. Here we got rid of the 3, and we did divided by 3 on this side. Over here, we kept the 3, and we multiplied on this side. Both ways will work. Okay. We have literally 1 minute left, guys. I keep running over with y'all. Let's look at this one real quick. Did anybody figure out how to do this?
I tried.
What'd you do? What'd y'all do? Somebody tell me.
So I put 3n plus 5, but then I take that, I put the 5 down, and there's negative 5.
Okay, so you did minus 5 first.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a hint here. This type of problem is very similar to these problems with parentheses. We can't do any minus 5 or divide by 2 until we get rid of the parentheses. And over here, in a similar way, we can't mess with the 3n or the plus 5 until we get rid of divided by 2. Kiana, what'd you do?
I did like 3 methods. So the first method I did 2 times 3.
2 times 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So where did you do times 3?
Oh wait, no, I did wrong.
What are we thinking, guys?
It's 2 times 7.
2 times 7?
yeah,
It's 14.
Okay. So did you also take this whole side times 2?
No.
that
So
was
you,
my first time doing it. The
Okay.
second method I did the 2 times the 5 and then the 2 times the 7.
ooh. So we have so many different ideas here, guys, and they're all amazing ideas. I love this. You're really thinking about how we can do this. I'm going to show you the proper way real quick. So we have 3n plus 5, and it is all divided by 2. We want to get rid of this 2. And if it's divided by 2, how do I get rid of it? Multiply. So I'm going to do times 2 on both sides. So Lisa and Kiana, y'all were both right about this 7 times 2 here. My 2's cancel. I'm left with 3n plus 5 equals 7 times 2, what's that? 14. Then we just solve like normal.
Okay.
Minus 5, minus 5. What are we going to get? 3n equals, what's that, 9?
9.
And then divide by 3. I'm going quick because we're out of time, guys. N equals 3. Okay. I'm going to give you an exit ticket. There will not be anything like this on your exit ticket since we did a speed run. But I wanted to just give you a little sneak peek at it. So I'm going to make a different exit ticket than I said. And you guys, you may have to finish this one later because we're actually 2 minutes past class ending. I apologize for that. So your day 17 exit ticket, because it went over, I'm just going to make it 2 problems today. It is going to be, oh my goodness, y'all. I swear. 3. These are going to look familiar to stuff we did today. There's 1, and here's 2. All right. Those two problems are going to be your ticket today. And if you have any questions, again, I know I'm so sorry I went over a little bit today, but feel free to get a hold of me, email me, message on Google Classroom. I will do what I can to help you guys.
Thank you.
All right.